And the plan was we actually have piping in there. We were going to use a little spare capacity from an existing chiller. And it turns out, though, that data center temperatures operate up here, and the other chiller was used for building temperatures, which operates down here. And it totally screwed up the control sequence on it. So they ended up having to just bypass the thing. And so we ran for about the first year on just the cooling towers alone with no problems whatsoever. Okay, let's move on over here. Any questions about this so far?
Jason Bachman just was trying to sell a couple of his DL3 G2s, and I mean they're $600 on eBay.
Yeah.
And I was considering buying one for my home lab, but I was like,
Did you say DL380 what?
G2s.
G2?
385 G2s in support.
64-bit.
The question is, do you want something sizable that's that old, or just something small and new?
And it looks like we're running on 3 cooling towers today. Probably an easy candidate.
Yeah, because I've been buying the Super Micro single Xeon
Yeah.
volumes.
Yeah, because you need what the bits they use.
So if it was an air conditioner, how about how many tons?
Oh, I don't know the answer to that offhand.
It's 16 gig of memory, and a pure Xeon. And the next step up to go to the dual process to the equivalent of a DL380 even from Supermicro is right. So it's like, do I want twice the power for 3 times the price?
And the best thing is no.
Right. And the next thing I'm going
Okay,
to do
so
is
this
actually
is
that
the
same
pump room,
driver
and this is
in
responsible for
Fourier
circulation
transfer,
of
so I
water
can
in
use
2
all the expansion
directions. On the right-hand side here is the primary loop. This circulates water out through the cooling towers and back, and it goes then through the heat exchangers over here, where it meets the secondary pump loop. The reason you have primary and secondary is that the primary loop out here is open to the air. When you're using cooling towers, you actually are blowing a lot of air through there to evaporate the water. You have dirt, leaves, everything else, and it accumulates in there. So that water has to be cleaned regularly. The dolphin systems are supposed to keep things in suspension. And here you have a centrifugal pump that spins out particles and then gets purged out regularly. So the secondary side then is a closed loop. Everything in there stays clean and it picks up, it's chilled in the heat exchangers and goes over here to the secondary side. Where we have 4 more pumps that circulate water through the data center. And it all goes out through a common header here. We were talking a little earlier about redundancy. This is another area where we have 1 loop, although we do have 4 pumps feeding it. And it branches off from here like a tree to go out to the various areas of the data center, then down to each individual crack, where the chilled water goes through a radiator type apparatus in the crack, blows air through it, and then the heated water then goes back in the same direction and comes back out here through there, back into the heat exchanger to be chilled again. Now there is another loop over here on the corner that brings in water from the chillers, which is the next room we're going to visit. The way it works is that if we are not able to chill the water enough with the cooling towers, we can add chilling with the mechanical chillers, the regular EX
mixing valves. Mixing valves.
It's not done with a mixing valve. The way it's done, the secondary pumps are on VFDs, and the primary pumps run full speed on the chiller room, and by varying the speed of the secondary pumps, you regulate the mix. So there's actually what's called a bridle loop up there, where it either mixes with the water from the heat exchangers or it just loops back to the chillers. Questions?
You don't have any freezing problems with the evaporator coolers?
No. They actually have heaters in the bottom if it's necessary. But keep in mind that what's going out there through those cooling towers is hot water. But if it gets cold enough, right. And the problem would be if they're not used during the winter, if you're using only one of them and the other three are sitting idle, then they can freeze. Okay, we'll move on to this way to the north. Okay. Well, I'm sure there's stuff out there made for it.
I haven't found economizers or any of that kind of stuff. So conventionally, sure.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's what you're trying to avoid.
Right. You know, and it's in Santa Fe where I've got the same dry air cooling a lot of the time.
That'd be perfect.
Yeah. I'm thinking of actually putting a swamp cooler. Yeah.
Okay, this is the chiller room, and nothing here is running right now, but this is regular DX refrigeration, just like your refrigerator at home. And it chills water. The heat is actually rejected. There are 3 more little cooling towers up on the top of this building, which is where the heat goes. When you're cooling things, you're actually really just moving heat, right?